More baseball talk too, but now Canada's national summer sport. The St. Catharines Junior A Athletics regular season begins Wednesday night at home, Canada Games Park, and this season is a big one.
Everybody's talking, the buzz ain't just a beer. Radio man keeps saying, this could be our year. Huddled up headlights, team colors cross the lawn. Don't matter where you're coming from, we're here to get it gone. It's that hometown crowd, yeah, it's in our blood. And even when the clock runs out, we still raise the cup. It ain't about that hat trick, home run, a big first down. Just looking for a little something we can rally around. Seat in the house, courtside or on the couch, we still get loud.
Sully Burrows and Rally Round kicking off another feature game here in the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League. We're in the semifinals yet again tonight, game number 2 between the Toronto Beaches and Whitby Warriors. All Whitby in game number 1 out in Pickering, a 10-3, 13 goals combined, but 10-3 scoreline for the Whitby Warriors. Both teams kind of surprised with the scoreline, talking to both sides. Riley O'Connor admitting that, yes, a game that Whitby definitely deserved to win, while their side a little bit shocked that's the way it came out, and they are definitely looking to be ready for a response early on here from the Toronto Beaches. If you like blue, you've come to the right place. Whitby in their white with blue lettering, blue and yellow for the Beaches. And the early face-off in the stick of Jack Oldman, probably the best draw taker in the league, will win it back here for Whitby, wearing their white jerseys, the ones they used just a couple days ago to advance here into this second round over St. Catharines. Whitby kind of believing that could have been the difference in that first game. Langiel crashes into a check. Ryan Langiel did not play in the first game, but then returned in a huge way for St. Catharines. Here's the captain, Lucas Littlejohn. No Nolan Byrne for this Warriors team for the second game in a row. Julian Belair, big high step. He'll play it back in towards the corner where Matthew Ford will pick up. Only played one game in round number 1, has now played on back-to-back days. No changes for the Whitby Warriors, and why would they? Whitby having to play 3 games in 4 days to kick off this round and playing for their season lives. A 4-day break in between round number 1, which was a pretty easy walk through the Mimico Mountaineers for the Toronto Beaches. So we'll see if they have their playoff legs under them now. So far, all the offense of Whitby off the opening face-off. Shot there from Littlejohn, sails up and out of play. Thomas Kaisick, as you would expect, starting in net for the Toronto Beaches. Graduating goaltender, Saskatchewan Rush. Backup netminder this season. Josh Mills plays it down into the corner for Willem Firth on the run. That one looked like it may have hit the glove, the left glove of Tyden Redlick, who was phenomenal in the first series. Outside shot coming through from Mills. Redlick down to his knees to pick up. That's BC on Alberta. As Redlick came over at the trade deadline, the draft pick of the San Diego Seals. Bouncer at the line. Liam Bucknell got run over. Ty Jesso going to be allowed to keep the ball. All of this on Whitby's clock, which is now down to 20 seconds. Couple changes for the Beaches we'll get to next time they touch the ball. Littlejohn to the outside, Ty Jesso. He'll bounce it across to Tryson Stewart. Inside the restraining line, looked for Langiel, who was cutting through. That'll drop in the corner for Ty Jesso and his former KW teammate Seth Martineau, the graduating defender, and trade deadline acquisition there for the shot clock violation. Kalen Mander out tonight. Caleb Tatarek Tarek, same thing. That makes room for Caswell Friedwin and wearing number 15 and number 23, Aaron Eberhard, for the Beaches, who get their first shot on net. Again, off the left arm there of Redlick. Recovered here by the Beaches, though, who will play it down the wall. Looking for Hamish McPherson. His shot handled by Redlick. Just 36 shots in game number 1 off those 3 goals. 13 in the first period. Meanwhile, Whitby came out and put up 20 en route to 56 in on Thomas Kazik. Oldman from the restraining line. Under 10 to shoot. They do. And in the crease is called Matthew Ford. The surprising somewhat trade acquisition from the Peterborough Lakers. Junior B star. A couple pretty good defenders going up the Highway 115. Initial stop there on the first shot. He'll get it back, circle the crease, and score. Willem Firth drawing first blood here for the Beaches in game number 2. And boy, did they need that after the first game. Loose ball, McPherson. Back to Firth, who just on the run. Normally we see Firth from outside, but can really score from anywhere. Arguably, and it's a short argument, one of the top players in the box game in the country. Oldman. Another face-off win. He'll play it down into the corner. Littlejohn to Max Weatherup, who had a hat trick in game number 1. Playing back up to Trayson Stewart. Stewart stutter step, gets a lane on his man, tried to shovel it back through the crease. And that one knocked down, and the Beaches are off to the races. Owen Tassi going to slow things up. One of 11 graduating seniors in this series, if you include both goaltenders, Thomas Kazik and Nick Parolin. For the Beaches, Firth, also one of those. Around his back, he'll play it here to Mills. Had the stick taken out of his hands en route to the crease in a collision with Luke Robinson. Ethan Lee. He'll slow it down with Whitby here. Ford, yet again, in the absence of Nolan Byrne, looks like we're going to see a lot of Matthew Ford tonight. Jesso up top. Gets the screen from Littlejohn, shoots through traffic. Kazik with the stop, but the rebound will go the way of Whitby. You can see why they're high on this young man. Ford grabbing that rebound. Martineau back up in the face of Soroketti. Back down low, diving. Scrum there and pile up in the crease. As the shot came from Matthew Ford. Kyle Coulter, Andrew Ecclestone, and Kyle Kropman, your 3 officials They were the 3 officials last night, if I'm not mistaken. 3 officials here today as well. Dancing around a top screen and shooting and scoring, Tyler Francis Renner. You know, Whitby did say the first 5 minutes was going to be their most important 5 of the season, as they were expecting a response from the 10-3 game number 1. And Francis Renner and Willem Firth now making it 2-1 here, 5.5 into this first period. Max Weatherup controlling the face-off. Another win for Oldman. 3-0 here on the night. Littlejohn. He'll play down the boards. Oldman, jab step. Back to the line. Stewart. For Littlejohn, he'll shoot over top of the defender. Missed everything. 10 on the shot clock. Littlejohn back with it. The OJLL points champion from the regular season. Shot from Stewart, bounced back off the defender. Kazik trying to rally the troops as the defense runs away from his net. Jack Wynarski. He'll play it to the outside. Both of these two teams representing Ontario in the 2022 Minto Cup in Brampton, won by the Warriors. Trailer backdoor, Redlick. Just a little step to his right. He's getting in the way of that shot. Already the 7th on net for the Beaches. 7-5 in that department with 7 minutes gone here in the period. Julian Belair trying to split a pair of defenders. 4 goals in the deciding game number 5. Back on the weekend, that sent Whitby here into this series and sent St. Catharines home. McPherson back down the boards, Firth to the far side. Shot there, Liam Aston's first offering skips just wide. Firth will play it off the glass. Late in the clock from distance. Shoot it just wide of the net. Weatherup will clear center. Trying to shake off Caswell Freeman. Freeman back to the ball. Weatherup's got it. Littlejohn inside the restraining line. Outside for Gabriel Soroketti. He'll try the swim move. Langiel to set a screen. Back up top, Langiel may have stolen that from Weatherup, but his shot misses. It drops down into the stick of Martineau. Bucknell over center, collided there with Langiel. That popped the ball free. Going to be picked up here by Langiel, who got knocked down while shooting. Chase Smith standing over his prey. Meanwhile, back the other way, twist shot from David Peterkin. Oldman. He'll flip it back up towards center. Littlejohn there waiting for it. Minute and a half away from the midway mark of this period. Scheduled for 3:20s. Oldman. Shot from outside. Kazik shrugs it away. And Oldman bowled over. And now a second Whitby player taken down by Carter Smith. On a big boy defensive shift. Caden Hewitt. He'll play it through Hunter Lubinecki. And now down the boards. Firth trying to get around Lee. Crease dive. Bounced off Redlick and over to the far side. Emergence of the right side of this Beaches offense over the season, allowing them actually to trade Peyton Booth out to Oakville, and a late penalty coming off this exchange. And it looks like it's going to be Firth who heads off here, the first infraction of the game. Going to see him get up out of the pile here. This was a long rugby scrum, and it's right there. The cross check into Lee. Actually, it might be the second one. Either way, Willem Firth heading off. The first penalty here in game number 2 of this best of 7 semifinal series. If you missed it yesterday, the Orangeville Northmen 8-4 victors in Peterborough. How about Pete and Noah Dalladay with the call of that one? Third generation Dalladay to take the microphone, doing it with his father. A cool moment up there in Peterborough for those two. Outside shot. Littlejohn has bounced off the end boards. Quickly heading after it though, Owen Tassi wanted the quick restart, and Kyle Coulter not going to oblige. Wants him to start it out in one of the corners. He will do that. Setting it up to Josh Mills. Former Port Coquitlam Saint coming over at the trade deadline. Nice job with facing a double team. Gets a good shot off too. Headed in Lubinecki's direction. And he resets the shot clock by picking it up. It's Tyler Francis Renner, 66, not the 88. Owen Lee getting held up. He'll come across to weather up. The 8 count is on from both officials. Littlejohn now takes the floor with a minute left in the power play. Past the halfway mark of this first period. 2-0 Beaches lead. It was a tight first period in game number 1, 3-2 after 1. Not so from there on out. Soroketti, his shot missed the mark, and Littlejohn can only catch up to it. Momentum takes him across the timeline. Over and back violation. 44 seconds left. Beaches can't take the whole penalty down, but try to get as much as they can. Chase Smith. Nicholas Belmonte up on Smith, trying to push him back over. That'll be flipped here to Hamish McPherson. Working away from Brendan Cromer. On the run. Shot there headed for the 5-hole on Redlick. Looked like a late reaction, but does make the stop. Here's Littlejohn now. Final 10 seconds of Whitby's first power play of the game. Littlejohn and Soroketti playing catch up top. Soroketti back to Belair. The bouncer off the end boards. Gesso brings it down. Knew the hit was coming. Gets it away to Belair from distance. That was headed for the top corner, if not for a shrug of the shoulders from Kazik. Firth through Lubinecki. Outside shot, Redlick makes the save. It'll come back to Firth again. Francis Renner jogging up to the restraining line. Mills. Back to Firth. Down low, 10 left in the shot clock. Francis Renner gets a step on his man. That shot bounced off a defender. Francis Renner will take it back to center before lifting it into the safety netting at the tail end of the shot clock. Francis Renner with one of the 2 goals here early on for the Beaches. Matthew Ford steps on the brakes, far side. Pass intended for Littlejohn, hit the glass, and then ricocheted right back to David Peterkin, who's going to shed a defender, and Redlick with a stop there. Had to face a number of breakaways in games 4 and 5 in the series in St. Catharines, and was dynamic and back to his old tricks. Again, is tied in Redlick. Littlejohn's first shot bounced off Kazik. He'll get his own rebound and now play it back through Ford. Far side, Soroketti. Couple screens in front. Back here to Littlejohn. Disguised the pass to the crease as a shot. Although Tryson Stewart was tied up over there on the crease. Zach Vanderwall, part of that KW blockbuster. Vanderwall, Noah Candy, Seth Martineau, Cal Brennan, who scored twice in game number 1, all coming from KW. Final trade of deadline day. Low shot there on Redlick. Drop down over top. You can keep the ball back Whitby's way. Weather up and Belair playing catch. Max Weather up through Stewart into the corner. Now Ty Gesso. Lost it there. Picked up by Belair. Julian Belair from distance. This time looking to the left corner, and same story as the shoulder of Kazik got there first. Jack Warnarski to bring this in. Firth now to the trailing Liam Aston. That one skips just wide of the net. It's going to head up and into the penalty box. Giving a fresh 30 seconds to Max Taylor and the Warriors. Littlejohn to Oldman. Is headed to the corner. Will pull back. Ford through Soroketti to Langiel in the corner. Ryan Langiel stepping up. Calling for Littlejohn, the cut and the score. When Lucas Littlejohn is on his game, it looks something like this. A cut to the net and a nice pass, and it's in the back. Really without hesitation, so the answer there, lead down to 1 for the Beaches as Whitby will get one back from their captain, who even with all the scoring in game number 1 only had 3 assists. Really hasn't scored on the 100-plus point pace he had in the regular season. Gonna earn him a fair chunk of MVP votes, I can imagine. Here's Ty Jesso from the outside. His shot through the middle hit a body in front. They did give a reset, which means they'll fight over this on the far side. Jay Smith sitting on the back of, I believe that's Trayson Stewart. Beaches come away with it. Closing it out, 4 minutes left here in the first period. This more what we expected from this Whitby-Toronto battle. Back across, Josh Mills. Swim move on his own, cutting through, scores! A minute and 8 seconds is the answer for Mills. A beautiful little move to get him into the crease. And a decent celly at the end, too, into the glass. Lead is back to 2, 3-1 for the Beaches. Four minutes now left here in the period. 3 goals off 13 shots for the Beaches. 1 off 9 for Whitby. Oldman crouching in against Caden Hewitt. They'll battle for this face-off. All of them have gone Whitby's way so far. Same story as Oldman pushes it back to himself. Oldman's going to stay on with the face-off twig. Made the pass to Littlejohn, who puts it on the far boards. Julian Belair back down to Oldman. Jack Oldman over the top. Does he dare shoot? With the draw stick. Looks like he's leaning up for one. Out towards the corner, and Soroketti banked it off the pads of Kaizik. It'll go right back to the Beaches. 600 or so of you watching live. We thank you for spending the evening with us here in the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League. Hamish McPherson out to the far boards. Shot clock under 10 now for the Beaches. They'll go back to McPherson. Low shot, skipped and took a right turn off the carpet and then off the end boards. Weatherup was looking down floor before he brought the ball down and then had to hurry late in the 8 count. Only 8 seconds to get across center. And trying to force it, Josh Mills back with it for the Beaches. I'll remind you, all the playoff action will be right here in the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League, so make sure you're subscribed to the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League YouTube channel. Liam Aston to pull it back in. Cal Brennan off his 2 goals of the 3 the Beaches scored. Mills, initial offering wide. Second one bounces off the foot of Owen Tapper. Graduating defender. Here's Weatherup to Littlejohn off the bench. Trayson Stewart, Ryan Langeal. Back across, Littlejohn fired. That one was a bit of a low release and well wide of the net. Seen him look for that corner to the left side of the goaltender a few times in the last series, especially in this building, and it's usually been the end result ever since the regular season ended. Francis Renner tap dancing his way to the crease. And Redlick makes the stop. Taylor to Littlejohn. Oldman Belair already out there. Soroketti calling for it on the far boards. Last one in is Stewart. Little John for Belair. Head fake. Far side, Soroketti can't get past Martineau. Oldman brings it down, draws 3 defenders, and then can't pass it to the crease where Belair was waiting. Bouncer up for Martineau. Closing in on a minute left here in the period. Josh Mills flips it back to Firth. Had to fix his helmet on the run, as now Liam Aston's shot skips off Redlick and up out of play. Just as we do indeed hit that final 60 seconds. 3-1 Beaches coming down the stretch here. Not really sure what we're waiting for here in the corner. Cutting Firth from his wrong side. Picks it up over the shoulder. All in one motion. Missed the net, but my goodness. Here's Max Weatherup. Back the other way. Looking at Soroketti off the bench. Martineau. Riley O'Connor asking his team to wait before picking it up, and that's a veteran move by the veteran squad. Guess we can call Riley O'Connor a veteran coach. I mean, he's only really got 4 years behind the bench. Love the Beaches. Took them to a Minto Cup run already. And they've been in the conversation the entire time. Here's how our points leaders look of those participating in this series. Lucas Littlejohn with 22. Third most in the playoffs. I know I said he's been snake bit, but I mean, that's still pretty good pace for Littlejohn, who's got a goal. The lone one for Whitby here tonight. Gabriel Soroketti, part of that conversation, tied for 5th most with 19, along with Willem Firth. Although keep in mind, Whitby played a full 5-game series against St. Catharines. Willem Firth just game number 4. 19 points. You can add 2 more to that total, as that was coming into the evening, now up with 21. This in game number 4 for Willem Firth. Thomas Kaisig will be on the bench here for the Beaches for the last shot of this first period. Firth going to quarterback the extra attacker set. Starts it on his left with Hunter Lubinecki. Sticks out on both benches. Pulling their team on. Owen Lee up to take care of Firth, who you would imagine would be part of this play. Firth trailing in behind. Gets it, shoots on Redlick. He'll pick up and bomb it down floor. Going to run out of time, though, I think. And not on target anyways. Whitby could probably use the scoring, though. They're down by 2 after the first. Remember, it was a close first period between these two teams, 3-2 after 1 in game number 1. Before the Warriors took off, they said they were expecting a better performance from the Beaches. So were the Toronto coaching staff. We'll see what the second holds. 3-1 after 1. Toronto leads here in this second game of the best of 7, with Whitby leading 1-0. Second period comes your way after a brief timeout. We'll talk to you in about 9 minutes from here at Iroquois Park Sports Center.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing.
Let's go, raise up one time, go get it, it's yours, let's shine, come on.
Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
You can catch the fun with lacrosse, Canada's national summer sport. Everyone can experience the excitement of lacrosse, where fun meets fitness and friends are made. Lacrosse is one of the youngest organized sports children can play. And with 66 clubs throughout Ontario, everyone can get in on the fun. Visit playlacrosse.com. Our interactive map will help you find a lacrosse club in your area. Join the Ontario lacrosse community today. Ask a parent before going online.
Back live in Whitby here. Game number 2 of this best-of-7 semifinal series between the Warriors and the Toronto Beaches. And Willem Firth back to work here in the first period, circling the net, and that's just a Willem Firth goal. From the outside now, Tyler Francis Renner keeps it going. Normally see him score transitionally, but coming out the front door tonight here is, we saw a Willem Firth trademark goal. That's a trademark Lucas Littlejohn goal. And then how about Josh Mills to cap the period off 3-1 in favor of the Toronto Beaches. Face-off win here for Jack Oldman. He's taken and won every single one here tonight so far. Going to give the first opportunity to Whitby, who had just 1 goal in that first period off 10 shots. 3 off 17 in the first period for the Toronto Beaches. Go back to game number 1, 3 off 20 in the first period for Whitby. And then went on a stretch of 22 and a half minutes of shutout lacrosse before the next Beaches goal after they scored 2 in the first period. Outside shot, Liam Aston may have had the corner, although it was high over top. Cal Brennan has Redlick looking over his shoulder. And where is it? Drops out the gear. It is behind Redlick. Him and Kropman still looking for it, but from the outside, Langille. Little give and go with Tryson Stewart, who gets knocked down in the crease. 1 of 3, Cornell Big Red. In this game, teammates Luke Robinson, Tryson Stewart, and of course Willem Firth. And somewhere Jonathan Donville is smiling. Francis Renner down towards the corner, and Liam Aston will turn it back to Firth. He'll shake his man back to the crease. A number of moves. The low shot kicked out by Redlick. Eddie Faraday, graduating defender, acquired from the Oakville Buzz, and Faraday throws it right back into the bench, much to the delight of the Beaches lineup. Ethan Lee there first. Owen Lee, number 9. Ethan, number 18. Matthew Ford, wide open, big move in the left arm of Kazik. Popped out to make the stop. Here's Martineau. Seth Martineau across. McPherson plays it down in towards the corner. Liam Aston, pair of assists in that first period. Leaving there to Cal Brennan. His shot couldn't get through. They did call for a reset, so no over and back. Brennan to Aston. Out to Firth coming off the bench. Owen Lee all over him now around a screen. Back across. Aston to the crease. Redlick stands tall. As McPherson's shot, fake low, went high. And off the Whitby netminder. Here's Liam Aston again. Down towards the crease. Francis Renner. Goes back down the boards to Aston. Quickly to the far side. Josh Mills putting it in the stick of Willem Firth. Firth waits. Sidearm shot. That one on target. Rebound picked up though by Belmonte. Baxter. To the front door, Littlejohn. Soroketti working it through to Stewart. Pass knocked down. Trying to push transition there was Liam Bucknell, but Stewart, after the miss, ran back to take it away. He'll be stuck out there on D now. Firth has Ben Cromer on him. Julian Belair stuck out there as well. Outside shot from Brennan. Down towards the foot of Redlick. Off the toe cap. Mills recovers it, back to Firth, shot, and it stays in the Whitby crease. Now back for Taylor. Trying to find a cutter. Littlejohn just got a quick shot away. Played back here, the Beaches. Game's starting to open up a little bit, go back and forth. Francis Renner around the corner of Oldman. Passes it back to Aston. Liam Aston's shot. I had Redlick looking behind him, but the pirouette and the hand over the line keeps us a 3-1 game. 5 minutes gone here in the period. Littlejohn to Oldman. Has space to shoot and scores. Oh my goodness. You could see the opening there for a long time for Jack Oldman. Look how much room they're giving him to shoot the Beaches, and he takes advantage, just popping it in by the low post. And I guarantee that was not the face-off stick. He'll have it now as he crouches in for the draw on Caswell Friedman and wins it cleanly straight down Main Street. Flip pass to Owen Tapper. Ball down, Oldman couldn't pick up. Played here for the Beaches. Tassi will bounce it down the boards, cutting back. Nifty move from Warnarski. Thought he may have had a shot on the doorstep of the crease. Likes to take it the long way around and got roughed up in behind there, popping it free, and it lands on the back of the net where Redlick will recover it. Robert Baxter. One of 12 graduates for this Whitby Warrior team. Littlejohn got blown up after the shot, looking down at his right leg, and probably no more than just a rug burn here on the former New York Riptide carpet. Outside shot. Belair will pick up. Chase back towards the boards. A double team there to hit him, although got the pass away in time. Ty Gesso faking it to Littlejohn. Comes back along the boards. 10 on the shot clock. Soroketti. Back to his captain, shoveling it all the way back up top for Belair for the outside rip. And Langiel took his man down side of the crease. Got in the face of Kazik and may have upset that pass. Intended for David Peterkin. One of the holdovers from the Beaches squad from that 2022 Minto Cup. Cal Brennan working it back here for Aston. Shot goes off a leaping Luke Robinson. And stayed in play for the shot clock violation against the Beaches. Taylor. Lee. Taylor waiting for the return pass that never arrived. It'll go down the boards to Stewart. Now through Matthew Ford. Lucas Littlejohn. 7 minutes gone here in the period. 3-2 lead Beaches. Outside Gesso. He'll pull it back down. It falls in the stick of Littlejohn. He's on the carpet, as was Gesso. Ball, meanwhile, headed the far back down floor. Max Weatherup quickly after it as it rolls back. Bucknell to Tassi. To Francis Renner, now the offensive unit out there. Working off the boards. Through Brennan, back to Firth. Mills goes and sets the screen. Weatherup goes down. It's in, but off a moving screen. Weatherup may have sold it a bit. Now he gets tangled up here on a change. This could be a 2-goal swing if Whitby can pot one here. Soroketti around his screen, and he does! Gabriel Soroketti ties it up at 3. Conversation afterwards with Zach Vanderwall. right up in his face, but it's Soroketti over the top after a no-goal call back to our left on a moving screen. 8 minutes gone here in the second period. We're all tied up at 3. Goaltenders take the chance to get water. Redlick having a few words with a few of the Beaches players on his way to the bench. Know how fired up he can get. Then takes the angle away from Thomas Kazik. Accidentally, I'm sure. Iroquois Park Sports Center, of course, the site of the Ontario Lacrosse Festival coming up August the 1st through the 10th. If you're anywhere close to in town, this is the place to be if you're a lacrosse fan. With all 4 lacrosse pads going in earnest lacrosse basically all day, including the OLA A qualifier championships. 3 straight games here on this main turf on August the 9th, 4:30, 6 o'clock, and 7:30 start times in the U13, 15, and 17 divisions. Ball down here, Beaches out of the corner. We'll roll it back to Chase Smith. Smith with it. Wanted to go to the net. Owen Tapper took his lane away. He'll go back up top to Firth. Always a good move. Put it in the stick of number 14. He's going to run away from pressure. Out from the corner. Back for Hunter Lubinecki. Got a tie up in behind the net of Redlick. Everyone will go their separate ways as the official steps in. And Tapper leaving the ball for Gabriel Soroketti. Tapper and Robinson picking up assists on Soroketti's goal. That shot stays in the crease of Kazik. He'll play it back through Peterkin. William Aston, pair of assists in the game. Goes over the top, back towards the corner for Mills. Cal Brennan. Clean catch made by Redlick, although it pops out the back of his stick. And 4 seconds to get out of the crease. Not often you see that violation called, but Redlick shakes out the mask and has to reset. Lubinecki chased out to the restraining line. Firth back across here. Liam Aston's shot off of Redlick in the corner to McPherson. He'll take a flip pass there from Firth. Back near side, Lubinecki, Mills with it. Back for Firth again. Weatherup quickly on Firth, and again a screen there on Weatherup, and Firth goes right back after him with something to say. That one was a bit more egregious. Here's Baxter. Chasing an errant pass down in the corner. He gets swarmed. Double team, including Zach Vanderwall. Now a rugby scrum all falls down. Loose ball rolled the way of Whitby. They'll be awarded possession with everyone getting up with a few shoves. Things getting a little spicy here in game number 2. Ford and Langeal. Langeal pops out of the pile. Little twist shot in front of Kazik. He's going to flip over his head and it's in. First lead of the game for Whitby. See who they're going to give this to. It could be Matthew Ford. It's an own goal. Oh my. Ryan Langeal probably going to get credited, and indeed he does, for the 4th goal here for the Warriors, their 3rd of the period. Flips over top of Thomas Kazik, coming to the top of the crease and back into the net. Caden Hewitt trying to slow things down and tie up Oldman. Ended up sitting on him inside the restraining line, and Beaches will win their first face-off of the night. Francis Renner took a big hit just as he was shooting. Max Weatherup with the ball now. Whitby putting their trust in not just the 11 graduates, but there's a couple rookies mixed in, including Weatherup, Matthew Ford. Outside shot here from Little John, skips off a pair of boards and back down floor. The over and back will be called as Ethan Lee comes out. And those youngsters fitting right in, I must say. Willem Firth to the crease, dives, called in the crease. And it'll be Whitby ball with more shoving as everyone walks away. Interesting that they've given assists to Ty Jessen and Lucas Littlejohn on that Langille funky goal. Soroketti now round the corner, going to take it himself, cuts back, and looked like Kaiser was about to follow him cross crease and lean left at the last second to make a good stop. David Peterkin back across the restraining line, We'll pull back through. Hamish McPherson down to Josh Mills. Mills waiting it out with 10 on his shot clock. No shot. Back to Lubinecki. And Mills. Low one in to the feet of Redlick. It bounced back near center. Did the rebound. Lubinecki has to do well to pick it off the glass, but then got dumped. And now trying to get it back towards center. It's Owen Tapper who will gain the possession. Robinson to his Cornell teammate. Stewart off the bench. He'll accept a return pass to Littlejohn. Tryson Stewart. Pass through, intended for Langille. Knocked it off the shaft of the stick of Aaron Eberhard. Now Wojnarski through center. What a stop, Redlick. Firth will bring it back down from his wrong side. Couple moves and a twister, and now big heavy collision far side. Wojnarski went awkwardly into the boards. Looks like he's okay. Weatherup. A battle of the red shoes between him and Martineau. Francis Renner back to the boards for Aston. Finds a man circling the crease. Aston with the return pass, just skips it wide of the net. This one's going to come back over center. Beach is changing up. Get the over and back call. Whitby wanted to delay a game against Tassie. And the official had something to say to number 13. Possibly a warning after knocking that one down floor. Ford through Soroketti. Now Gesso. Littlejohn and Tapper. All five already touching it here on this latest offensive set for Whitby. Back through. Low shot. Soroketti. Kaiser will make the save and keep it in his crease as well with under 6 to go here in the period. 4-3 lead Whitby. We're down 3-1 after one. Cutting through Firth. Bouncer just wide as he cut through the crease. Aston from his wrong side will let a shot fire off the dasher and up into the crowd. Beach has only had 12 shots on net in game number 2. Already with 11 here with just over 5 minutes to play, although in the goal department, same number. Langille flipping it back to Stewart on the little pick and roll. Kaiser. The long pass to find Wojnarski in stride. Francis Renner. Under 5 minutes to play here in period number 2. Firth off the bench. Has that big shot loaded. Lets it go off Redlick. Chased down in the corner, McPherson. Firth with it again. Francis Renner trying to set the screen here for Lubinecki. In the middle, Aston over the shoulder. Not sure if Redlick got that from the splits or it hit off the post. Either way, rebound to the Beaches in a fresh 30 seconds. On the run, McPherson. Francis Renner will drag it back. Ben Cromer's going to chase him back to the restraining line. Halfway through this latest shot clock, Firth takes the shot, sliding across Redlick. Had that go off his right arm. Francis Renner to extend the possession now. Beaches have made a couple man change. They're on the offensive side. Willem Firth's been out there for about 2 minutes. You can see him crouched down. If he's tired, you can imagine the 5 defenders for Whitby. Owen Lee pushing his man back in the restraining line. Outside shot. Finally recovered here by Robinson and Whitby, and the Warriors will be able to get that tired group off. Except for Ben Cromer, who's tasked with clearing center. Soroketti to Belair outside. Expect Whitby to use most of this clock here and give those boys a breather who were out there for almost a full 2 minutes. Played back in the direction of Gesso. Soroketti all the way across floor to pick up the skip shot. In on Kazik. It'll now be cleared over center by David Peterkin with 3 minutes left to go here in the second period. Kyle Brennan, Lubinecki, Firth off the bench, stepped into a shot that went high over top of the net. Brought down by Weatherup, trying to lead Ethan Lee down floor and just couldn't catch up to it, but still trying to recover it with a couple hits on the Beaches ball carriers. Wynarski threw his man on the far side, and officials aren't going to call this time. Francis Renner to Liam Aston. Francis Renner on the crease, and another stop from Redlick. Rebound to Firth, however. Aston going to direct traffic. Renner. Good battle in on the crease. Someone had lost their stick, but they'll get it back now. Cal Brennan to the far side. Brennan tied up outside. Now first shot off Redlick. Willem Firth after the rebound picks it up. May have had a lane to the net after Belmonte fell, but kept inside the restraining line as the Beaches work it around again. Inside the 2-minute warning. Aston here to Lubinecki. Hunter Lubinecki to Firth. Outside shot hits off Redlick. He'll come out to throw the screen on Mills. Another defensive loose ball for Max Weatherup. Little John off the bench. Minute and a half left to go. Both teams with both timeouts as we come down the stretch here. Langeal outside the set. He'll crash in. And stepping up for the hit, Langeal taken down. Ball's going to pop free and roll back into Peterkin. I believe that was Aaron Eberhardt that came up, and Redlick diving forward for a stop. Looked like he may have been hurt, but stands back up, looks to be okay. Last minute here of the second period. Matthew Ford high on his toes. Back across Little John. That's Oldman. That's stuffed. Now Little John will set a screen for Oldman. Back for Ford. Brought it down. Shot Kazik to stop. Little John picks it up, but with 35 left to go in the period. Bench want them to slow things down and not leave Beaches with anything. Earlier I said both teams had both timeouts. The Beaches did take a late one in that first period. Correction. Ford back across to Oldman. He'll shrug away from a double team. 2 Warriors untouched on the crease. One of them, Belair, got the good shot. Second one, Ford nearly threw it right back at Kazik. Then the period ends before Oldman can get a shot off the rebound. You can see how tired Carter Smith is, going down to a knee after that defensive set. And it is a hot one in Ontario today as well. 35 degrees, which has, even with the supposed AC here at Iroquois Park, has made it somewhat spicy here in this barn. Riley O'Connor is upset with the officials as he comes off the floor here. Second game in a row. The Beaches shut out in the second period. Warriors take advantage and have a 4-3 lead here in game number 2. They lead 1-0 in the series as well. An exciting final 20 coming your way in about 9.5 minutes. We'll talk to you then. You're watching the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League semifinals from Iroquois Park Sports Centre in Whitby.
Gatorade. With electrolytes to help replenish what's lost in sweat, carbs to help fuel your working muscles, and fluids to help you hydrate. Scientifically formulated so you never stop competing.
Yeah, let's go. Raise up one time. Go get it. It's yours. Let's shine. Come on.
Rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Gatorade.
You can catch the fun with lacrosse, Canada's national summer sport. Everyone can experience the excitement of lacrosse, where fun meets fitness and friends are made. Lacrosse is one of the youngest organized sports children can play. And with 66 clubs throughout Ontario, everyone can get in on the fun. Visit playlacrosse.com. Our interactive map will help you find a lacrosse club in your area. Join the Ontario lacrosse community today. Ask a parent before going online.
back here in Whitby, getting ready for the start of the third period here in game number 2 between Whitby and the Toronto Beaches. Here's a look how the playoffs have played out so far. Orangeville sweeping KW. Toronto, same story against Mimico Peterborough. Same story, Six Nations, in that barn burner of a series between Whitby and St. Catharines. All of the action that we've covered for you archived on the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League YouTube channel. 2 games tomorrow. Game 3's 8 p.m. in Peterborough. That's game number 3, Orangeville and the Lakers. And Toronto Whitby in Pickering. Game number 3, of course, Pickering Rex Complex, where the games are happening for the Toronto Beaches. Be sure to subscribe here for our next and all upcoming broadcasts. And, of course, follow at the OJLL on social media. OntarioJuniorLacrosse.com. Download the official app. You know the spiel by now if you've been following us the entire way. 3 goals off 16 shots in the second period for the Whitby Warriors, who have 4 off 26. 3 off 35 for the Beaches, who are shut out again in the second period despite putting 18 shots in the direction of Tyden Redlick. Another one coming here that he's going to kick out with the right foot off the transition of the Beaches. That was Caswell Friedman. Little John playing it back to Tryson Stewart. 15-51. Now Belair from the outside. Kazik with the clean catch. Good debate in the YouTube chat on whether people like Redlick or Kazik more. San Diego versus Saskatchewan here in this Ontario Junior Lacrosse League semifinal. Redlick makes the save as it rolls back out. Also have Buffalo represented with Evan Konstantopoulos in net for the Orangeville Northmen, while Keegan Shognosh, just his second year in the OJLL, but getting off to a pretty good career, and as well took the pipes away from graduating goaltender Gavin Williamson. Tell you how well he's performed this year. Firth circling the crease already with 3 points in the game, and you can add one more as he'll end the scoring drought. This kid can score from anywhere at any moment, as watch him bounce around, and just a little bit of room in the 5-hole next to the right leg of Redlick. A good look from our camera angle at where that shot was headed to tie things up. A minute and a half into this third and final period. "25 minutes and 38 seconds of shutout lacrosse here in this game for Redlick and the Warriors. 22-37 spanning the second period in game number 1. Liam Aston, although better start for the Beaches than it was in game number 1. We're tied 4-4. Not the runaway performance Whitby had in the first. Here's Firth threatening to take over this game now. Ball's going to fall in the midst of a scrum. It'll roll back to Hamish McPherson. Jogging away from pressure. We'll flip it back to Firth. Right at the shot clock violation, though, so one captain to another. Lucas Littlejohn takes over. Stewart down the board. Soroketti and Littlejohn. Back to Soroketti inside the restraining line. Going to give him a shot. He'll take it. Kazik there to meet it, and Belair took a shot to the midsection as everybody was going their separate ways. Talked about the 8 qualifiers in this venue. How about the President's Cup coming up? National Senior B Championship August 23rd to the 30th. Right here in this building, St. Catharines hosting the Minto Cup. And if you're following the Minto Cup on social media, you'll notice that they've posted single game tickets will be available starting at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Ty Gesso Outside, Matthew Ford returning it through, Weather up, Little John on the run, Len Gilles banks it off the end boards and slams his own stick into his forehead. Not advisable. Off missing that shot. 4 minutes gone here in this third period. Tyler Francis Renner. McPherson wanted to send it back to Firth. He was well covered. Now up top, tries the same shot. May have had the same spot open, but this one just skips away. They do give him a reset, say it went off Redlick. Back to Francis Renner through center. This one will be over and back. Francis Renner chases it himself and keeps the play on the side. Willem Firth. Swarmed there by Owen Lee. He'll knock it free, although momentarily. Firth from outside off the end boards. We saw Ty Stainhouse score from that distance back in the last series. Not so this time, though. Jack Oldman to Sorketti. Stewart joining the fray now. Sets a screen in front of Sorketti. Back to the near side, Little John. He'll put a swim move. Elects to shoot. That one bounces up and out of play. Little John. It looked like Kropman was going to give offsetting penalties there to Little John and Eberhard, but just motions them away to the bench, not the penalty box. Now we are going to get a delayed penalty. Little John screaming down floor in the direction of the official. So I don't know if he said something or there was more contact as the ball headed up the floor, but this looks like it's coming to the Whitby captain. Outside, Mills. Redlick was leaning right, ball went left, and now brought down by Whitby. Little John will get the penalty. Still wants to discuss it here with Ecclestone. The way he's moving his stick, I believe there was something in behind the play and our cameras that, he was fired up on the previous exchange with Aaron Eberhard. Eberhard was long gone, so suspect Little John might have taken his aggression out on someone else in a Beaches uniform. First penalty of the night to the Warriors. Second power play overall as Beaches took a minor in that first period. Nothing else since. Mills, McPherson, Firth. Passes in the direction of the crease, knocked away by Ethan Lee. Back up top, Mills, a shooting lane open, but then was closed just as quickly. Owen Lee stepping into that shot. And it rolls into the corner where it's picked up back again by Whitby. Ethan Lee run into the boards. He'll cut back in on Tassi. Taken down. Tassi picks up the loose ball. Whitby calling for a penalty. Not going to get one as it's played to Zach Vanderwall. He'll leave it with Tassi, who heads off. Mills trying the hidden ball play. Rolled it back across the white logo to Firth. Warriors were all over that, so Firth now puts it in the corner. Playing back to Aston. Up to meet it was Redlick, got a piece, but not enough as it rolls through, and the Beaches are back in front. I believe Firth going to pick up another assist here on the goal from Liam Aston. His first of the night. Firth now with 4 points. McPherson, the second assist as Firth continues to climb the playoff scoring leaders. Remember, only 3 games coming into the night, but up over that 20-point mark now in this game number 4 of his playoffs. Julian Belair to the corner. Oldman Soroketti faked high, went low, will regain his own rebound. Weather up from up top, pulls it back down. Weather up circling, Belair to Soroketti, his shot partially blocked. It'll roll back towards the corner. Oldman in there, so is Belair. He'll flip it, Soroketti works away from his defender, low shot, just skipped wide. 10 left to shoot for Whitby. Soroketti to Littlejohn off the bench. Rips from outside, save made Kazik. And this time Beaches will pick up. Littlejohn got run over and turns around with something to say to the official. Down floor, Lubinecki in transition. Where is it? Good question. Where is it? In the glove of Redlick. Beaches back up 5-4. This is more the game we were expecting out of this series. Ty Gesso slammed and then back for seconds on the floor. Probably could have made an argument for a penalty there. None upcoming. And the hit from Eberhard. Bucknell crosses center. That's a couple shifts now for Eberhard where he's lowered a Whitby body. Big, hefty defender. Firth, couple fakes, flips. There to Brennan in good shooting position. Missed the mark, Mills. No lane for him to get one in on net before the shot clock. Langio. Coming off the bench, Gesso. Here for Littlejohn. Matthew Ford sneaks off for the restraining line. Rebound bounces back to Gesso. Langio from outside lets a hard shot go off the shoulder there of Kazik. And you can just see what Joel Watson and the Warriors liked in Matthew Ford. Little spark plug player. Played Junior B most of this year, lit up their scoring leaderboards, and going to be pretty good here in Whitby. Rebound waved off. Have to see if we can get another look at that one, if that was picked out of the crease or the player was in the crease. Had a goal waved off last period on a moving screen call that Whitby then scored on. Coming back down floor, we'll see if they can do it again off the crease violation. Weather up with it. 10 left to shoot. Max Weather up through center, fires it off the defender. It's going to bounce right back to Trayson Stewart, who fired it off. A bouncer just got in on Kazik before the shot clock violation, and then a crease violation with Carter Smith being knocked down by Weather up. Landed in that orange carpet. Things picking up here at Iroquois Park. Soroketti thought about flipping it back up top. Gives to Littlejohn instead. His shot stopped. Rebound here. Littlejohn taken down. And a moving screen called against Seth Martineau. He's pleading his case. Fresh 30 for Whitby. Kazik's working on his mask. Gives us a chance to look at this no goal. Shot's okay there. Rolls out. I mean, I don't see anything. Unless there was a shot clock in there or... Put that in the notes to ask post-game. Soroketti dropped, and you can see him getting up slowly. He had a rough and tumble St. Catharines series. David Peterkin says something to him on his way by. Bit nonchalant there for the Beaches. Nifty move. Littlejohn banks it off the boards back to himself, but they're streaming out the back door on the Toronto bench. Gesso trailing the play. Picked it up out of room. Littlejohn is down here on the near boards. Getting up slowly. He's going to come over and Talk to Kyle Coulter. Soroketti back out there after getting up slowly. Shoots from up top. Kazik down to meet it. Rebound doesn't come out of his crease. Caden Hewitt passes back here. Littlejohn gets to the bench, takes his helmet off, and he's going to sit on the back side of the bench. Whitby fans, hold your breath. Number 51, already without Nolan Byrne. On the run, meanwhile, Firth. He got knocked down after the shot. That went wide. Going to be no Littlejohn on this possession as he's still crouched over, huddled over on the bench. 8.5 left to go here in the third. Beach is leading 5-4. It'll be Julian Belair that takes the shooter spot on the offense. Jack Oldman coming out as a righty as well. On the run, Ford gets his reset as he brings down the loose ball. Stewart, cross for Oldman. Belair sets the screen. That one sounded like something hit the post. Oldman reaching for the ball, can't save the over and back as it skipped away from Peterkin. Langill having words with Peterkin at the Whitby bench. He looked at peek, see if there's any change in the situation of Littlejohn. Loose ball here, just outside of the crease. Everybody digging for it, picked up by Josh Mills. He's got a jab step away from the crease, although Whitby thought he jumped in it. Under 8 to play here in regulation. Played down the boards. Mills backing into Taylor. Little bouncer from the outside, McPherson. Finally, Taylor able to knock Mills off his feet. Look out here, Littlejohn back on. First touch of the ball. It's going to roll out of his stick back to Weatherup, who immediately gets swarmed. Taken down by Caden Hewitt. And Weatherup is slow to get up. Just inside center. This big, nasty Beaches defense have been knocking Whitby bodies all night long. Cutter just missed. Back to Soroketti, late in the clock. Desperate chance, doesn't go. Littlejohn heads off. He's not 100%. 7 left to play. Willem Firth to the trailing McPherson. Big high step that bounces off a body. Coming back here to Firth. Pushed ahead by Lee. Owen Lee has help here in Robinson. Lee going to get through himself, and Kazik with a big stop, perhaps his best of the night. Owen Lee breaking out all by himself. And Kazik made the stop. Here's Mills. Back to Firth. Stumbles. Owen Lee back the other way after the breakaway. There to take a chance away defensively from Firth. What a shift. Owen Tapper. He'll flip to Stewart. Littlejohn back out there. So is Belair. And Ty Jesso. Trailing the play, Soroketti. Still have yet to see Weatherup. Outside shot from Littlejohn, hit off a defender. Littlejohn back after Martineau, who brings down the loose ball. He'll just shrug off both Littlejohn and Stewart. Big man had eyes for the center. It would not be denied. Weatherup out there now and just gets run over by Chase Smith, and they'll take possession away from the Beaches. That's 3 times from Weatherup on moving screens. And he's been drilled. Ty Jesso through Soroketti. Langill. He'll take top spot around his screen. Bouncer in front of Kazik. Goes up out of play. And will drop back down. Officials are going to start. Want to make sure this ball starts on the Beaches side of center with Josh Mills. We'll take a couple whacks there from Belmonte. Flipping it back here. Mills taken down in the corner in front of the official. Got up. He was questioning that call. Out from distance. They score. Luke Robinson. Didn't expect anything from there. Neither did Kazik. And that'll tie it up at 5. Kazik taking a chance to go get a water break. Boy, oh boy, things heating up on a day with a heat advisory and humidex warning. Starting to cool off now with thunderstorms in the area. Temperature has just risen about 8 more notches here inside Iroquois Park. We are tied 5-5 here in game number 2 of this semifinal series. Beaches and Warriors. Game 3 scheduled for tomorrow night. Same story, Orangeville and Peterborough. Headed back to Tony Rose Arena. Not going to be any cooler in that barn, I promise you. Little John. Down the boards, Oldman, Weatherup, who is out there now. We'll play it back down into the corner for Stewart. He'll collide with a pair of defenders. Excuse me, that was Ford, who crashed in with Chase Smith, and Weatherup. It was Smith who ran him over on the previous play. Now goes upstairs on Smith, and Weatherup wanted him to answer for it, but it will be a penalty to the Beaches. And keep your eye on number 9 here, just inside the restraining line. Oh, boy. I think it's called a 2-minute, which... that may be a break for the Beaches. Both goaltenders want a chance to grab a drink here before one of the biggest power plays of the season. Chase Smith for high sticking. It is a 2-minute minor. Just outside of 4 minutes left to go. Whitby has just retied this game at 5. Little John towards the corner. Ty Gesso. It's Belair taking top spot. Langiel and Soroketti. Soroketti to Little John. His sidearm rip hits the end boards. Just kept on side, although there's only 10 left to shoot. Soroketti. He'll play it back down to Ryan Langiel. Everyone back in their set positions. Cross floor pass intended for Gesso, knocked down by Warnarski. He'll clear center with half his kidney pads hanging out the back of his jersey. Goes off to get that fixed. Leaving Liam Aston out there with Cal Brennan. Beach is still keeping it far away from the net. Only a couple seconds left to shoot. Aston from his wrong side gets it in on Redlick. They did come out of the crease momentarily, but not far enough for Liam Aston to get another 30 seconds. Oldman fakes it to Little John. He'll give to Soroketti for real. Soroketti now to Little John. Belair out there with Gesso. Langiel again. Through Soroketti, Little John. Ty Gesso, Little John. Back to Soroketti. They try the same play with the same result. This time instead of Warnarski, it's Peterkin who steps up for the interception. Martineau gets around Belmonte. Cuts back between 2 defenders. And the shot bounces wide. Not really the best part of Seth Martineau's game, to be fair. But what a great chance for the big man. 15 seconds remaining now. After that shot went up out of play, it'll be enough time for the Beaches to take this whole penalty down. Closing in on the 2-minute warning here in the third period. Both teams with timeouts. McPherson stopped at the restraining line. We'll pass it back through Brennan. Out to Mills on the boards. No Willem Firth right now with 5 to shoot. Everybody else is already headed to the bench as well. Mills trying desperately to dump it in that direction. Little John takes an early chop there from Caden Hewitt. Little John from inside the restraining line. Back to Soroketti. Soroketti looking to the 5-hole on Kazik. Got dumped at the side of the net. Lead official was signaling possession change. Trail official is going to give a penalty back to the Beaches. Another high sticking call. This time it's Aaron Eberhard. One of 2 additions to the Beaches lineup over the one they dressed in game number 1. Goes off at an inopportune time on that hit at the side of the crease. Kazik again taking a long chance to towel off over at the bench. Puts his Saskatchewan gloves and helmet back on. We remind you to download the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League app for the full schedule going forward here in the playoffs. Subscribe here to the YouTube channel. If you turn your notifications on, you'll get an alert every time we go live throughout these playoffs. Trying to push our subscribers over the 7,000 mark before the end of this postseason. Julian Belair to Little John. Down towards the corner. They'll cycle it through again with Langeal going through the middle to set a screen. Now the pass to Belair. Both previous times it's gone to Gesso. That time Belair got a good shot on just the little adjustment. Langeal now 5-hole. It sneaks out the back door from Kazik. Langeal slowed up. Everyone on the Beaches bench screaming for a penalty. Not going to get one. This on nobody's clock yet, as it's still the rebound off the shot, although it is taking time off the penalty. We're also into the last minute of play. The officials right there making sure everybody's playing on the ball. Doesn't look like there's any movement, and as now it finally rolls through. Came back in the direction of Soroketti. Pops out, and it's going to bounce Beach's way. Jack Wojnarski in all alone. Redlick with another stop on the breakaway. Soroketti going to leave it there for the last 30 seconds, and timeout called by Whitby. Here in this 5-5 tie, 48 seconds left in their power play, 29 left in regulation. Wowee. After about a 20-second scrum there in the corner, Jack Wojnarski picks it out of the crowd, and he's gone. All by himself, but Tyden Redlick, 3 times a game, games 3, 4, and 5 against St. Catharines, he was hung out to dry. That's twice here tonight. You look at your points leaders. Lucas Littlejohn has jumped up to 3rd. Willem Firth in 5th. Reminder, this is just his 4th game. Lucas Littlejohn with 3 tonight, 4 for Firth. Part of 24-21. I imagine 1st and 2nd are Liam Matthews, Trey Deer. Got to be somebody in Orangeville. Although Chris Main shaking his head no. Liam Matthews, Dylan Sanderson, Trey Deer. There we go. 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Let's be honest here. I did my research for this game. Here comes the timeout play call. It is a 5-on-4 set. Redlick remains in the net. They go back to that same cross-floor pass to Gesso. Bouncer Littlejohn. Kazik all over top of it. He's asking, I'm not sure if he was trying to pump up his bench or ask if he was getting the call. Either way, now it's going to be thrown away. Whitby pick up. Tapper only with a couple seconds left. Owen Tapper by himself puts it over top, rolling. Where is it? No goal. Oh my goodness. Oh boy, right at the buzzer. The interception, the individual effort from Tapper, and then hold your breath on the crease. See if we can follow the bouncing ball here off the shoulder of Kazik. And to be honest, that was probably it. Oh, does it ever fall down past the line? I don't know, man. It looks like it's in the stick of the defender here, whoever that was on the side. Willem Firth, are you kidding me? Just showed you he's third in offensive points. May have taken a goal off the line at the dead last second of regulation time here in game number 2. Do it all, man. Goodness. Headed to overtime here in Whitby. They'll put 10 minutes on the clock. We'll play 5-on-5. Next goal wins. Not entirely sure what happens after 10 minutes. I know we need a winner, though, so we'll probably keep going. I think we take an intermission, and then we do 20-minute periods. I'm fine to stay here all night. What a treat this game has been between these two teams. After a 10-3 blowout in game number 1 for the Whitby Warriors, a much different story here tonight at Iroquois Park, and pretty sure this is the way that this series is going to go, if I'm being completely honest, between two of the top teams, not just in Ontario, but probably in the country as well. Game number 3 scheduled for tomorrow in Pickering. Still trying to work on what we can do out there, if anything. Peterborough is in Orangeville as well. Game number 3 there, scheduled for 8 p.m. Saturday is off. Everybody gets a chance to rehydrate and rest before Sunday. Reminder to subscribe to this channel. We will be somewhere on Sunday, I believe. Just getting word on which game that's going to be. So make sure you follow social media at the OJLL on your favorite social media platforms, and stay subscribed here to this YouTube channel. Like the video, share it around. The algorithm will be more apt to share things like this with you and your friends. Overtime here in game number 2. 5-5 is the score. Bel Air with it up top, still on the power play, although only a handful of seconds left. Bel Air across to Little John, shoots past the defender. Kazik wasn't sure where it was as it dropped out the back door, picked up by Soroketti as we go back to 5-on-5. Little John in the corner, Ty Gesso. Inside the restraining line, Gesso to Langille. He'll wheel across the top with his bucket pulling back. Soroketti the rebound. Big save, Kazik. Defender down at the side of the net, getting up slowly. And Caden Hewitt looks like he's in a world of hurt, but does get off with the help of Seth Martineau. Keep your eye on number 21. Cromer with the name bar starting to fall off his jersey. Plays back now with Josh Mills, passing the ball to the corner. Both teams have a timeout. Josh Mills, late in the shot clock, tried to bust through a double team, and it'll be a shot clock violation. McPherson couldn't pick it up, facing 3 defenders in along the boards. Next goal wins here at Iroquois Park. Little John to Tryson Stewart. Jack Goldman out to the far side, big high step. Matthew Ford, well falling, shoots over the shoulder. Bel Air on the rebound, and Kazik will keep it in his crease, but look out, has David Peterkin headed down floor, got taken down, matched stride for stride by Little John. No call, not even a possession. It'll be here for Whitby. Langille out the front door. Little John staying out there. He might play this entire 10-minute overtime period. Stewart to Soroketti. Up top, Little John shoots a rising shot. Not sure if that got shoulder or mask of Kazik. Either way, no rebound to be had. Martineau to Warnarski. McPherson off the bench. He'll pass it to Firth. Already a 4-point night. Francis Renner. High stepping at the restraining line. Lets a skip shot go. That one headed up and into the seats. Trail officials giving it back to the Beaches here. Official down in the crease. Andrew Ecclestone coming up, and oh boy, they're going to rule it went off a Whitby player before going up out of play. Fresh 30 seconds coming Toronto's way. Mills. Through Lubinecki. Back towards the corner again. Turning Liam Aston. Stopped at the crease, still shoots. That one high off the end glass. Aston had to clear out of the crease over the shoulder from a falling Hunter Lubinecki. I don't think Redlick knew that shot was coming, was just in good position. 3 minutes gone here in overtime. Jack Oldman down the boards. Jesso to Weatherup. Max Weatherup inside the restraining line. Off the bench, Soroketti. Gabriel Soroketti pushed outside. Weatherup will make the catch, or does he at the restraining line? Let it go. Long shot, Soroketti right on target. Into the 5-hole that was covered up by the summer stick of Kazik. Soroketti and Hewitt shoving each other. Now a good stick check by Cromer coming across that center. He'll put his shoulder into his man, knocked him down. Cromer lifting the rebound. Back to Luke Robinson. Already with a goal in the game in transition. Tries to spin back through a double team. Couldn't do it, but the ball bounces to Belair. Little John. Stewart. Ford stumbles. Gets back up. Round a screen. Splits the D. Lost the ball in the process. Liam Bucknell picks up. Bucknell's going to lower his shoulder into Little John. Postures up. Ain't going to get it to Caden Hewitt. 51 seconds away from the halfway mark of this overtime period. Hamish McPherson down the boards. Firth. Playing it through Lubinecki. Francis Renner. Skip pass in the direction of McPherson. Firth. Far side. Shot there. Kicked out. Brennan. Nearly had it. Although Firth with the rebound. Willem Firth around the screen. Low shot into the 5-hole of Redlick. Had it covered up and drags it back into his crease. You just get that feeling every time 14's got it, don't you? Felt like it right there, but Redlick says no. Jesso and Belair here on the near side. No Little John this set. It's Soroketti working past the screen. On the run, sidearm shot and diving for the ball, Kaisi. These two teams get to go back to work tomorrow. Peterkin. Man off the bench, bounces it to Josh Mills. Into the back half of this extra frame. Mills to Firth, long way from home. Screen set, they'll go back behind the net. Less than 10 to shoot. Aston around the world shot there from Josh Mills. Well wide into the corner. Last ditch effort from Cal Brennan to knock it in the corner didn't work. Here's Jack Oldman. Little John. Oldman again. Down in the corner, Ryan Langill. He'll wheel over the top. Can't let the shot go. Was looking to pass to Trayson Stewart. Just missed. Stewart through the middle. Little John knocked down. Rebound here to Oldman all by himself. Smith collides with him. Rebound all the way back up to center. And the shot clock will sound there on Whitby. Over 6 minutes gone here in overtime. Josh Mills. Here's Firth. Francis Renner to the outside. Lubinecki. Jab step. Cuts through and scores! Hunter Lubinecki. Whitby come off their bench and console Redlick. The Beaches come off the bench and split. Half of them going to congratulate Kazik and the other half to Hunter Lubinecki, who is the hero tonight in overtime. 6-5 Toronto after 6.5 minutes of extra time. Watch this move right here to beat the defender. And then with Redlick going down and to his right, the shot goes high and into the back of the net. And Hunter Lubinecki give an extra point to Firth. 5 here in the game. Brand new series headed back to Pickering tomorrow as we're all tied up 1 apiece. 2 games on the docket for you tomorrow. Orangeville, Peterborough, 8 p.m. And then in Pickering, it's Whitby and Toronto, game number 3. Quick rehydrate and recover for the boys after a thriller tonight. 6-5 overtime. Toronto Beaches win and tie up the series after they were outscored 10-3 in game number 1. This one going to look like this, probably all the way down the stretch. Get yourself out to Pickering. Schedule a trip here to Whitby. Subscribe to the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League YouTube channel where you won't miss a minute of the action, all of our games that we present to you. For our producer, Gary Morrison, our director, Chris Main, the JVI Sports Network, and the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League, my name is Matthew Carrick. So long from Whitby. Beaches wins 6-5. We'll talk to you next time.